Have you ever walked into someone's house and been immediately struck by how utterly impeccable it is? We are not talking about a pre-party rush job where they crammed everything into closets 5 minutes before you arrived. No, we are talking about that distinct sense of calm that emanates from a place where everything is permanently settled and peaceful. You find yourself wondering, almost with a touch of envy, how do they sustain this? Is it purely discipline, a surplus of time, or do they genuinely derive joy from scrubbing grout? Here's the truth I've unraveled. Those people are not simply cleaner, they are wired differently. This isn't just about good habits, it's rooted in neurological and psychological differences. The individual who returns their home to order every single day is operating from a completely alternative mental framework than the person who only sweeps through when the chaos becomes unbearable or when company is expected. Today, we are going to deconstruct this behavior because a clean home is not just about having a clean home. It is a profound reflection of the state of your mind, the architecture of your personal identity, and the dynamic relationship you maintain with your environment. If you have ever felt that your messy surroundings are silently draining your energy, causing anxiety, or even suffocating you, then this message might completely redefine how you view your living space forever. Let's begin here. Your brain does not separate your inner world and your outer world nearly as clearly as you might assume. The space you inhabit is constantly, relentlessly, sending signals to your nervous system. In environmental psychology, there is a fundamental concept known as cognitive load. This is simply the amount of mental effort your brain is using at any given second. Research reveals that physical clutter aggressively competes for your attention, even when you aren't consciously focusing on it. Every discarded dish in the sink, every pile of unread mail on the counter, every pair of socks left on the floor. Your brain catalogs all of it as unfinished business. And unfinished business is expensive, psychologically speaking. A groundbreaking study conducted at Princeton University demonstrated that visual disorganization interferes with your cognitive ability to focus. It essentially overloads your visual cortex, impairing your brain's processing efficiency. So, that messy room isn't just irritating, it is literally making you less sharp, more fatigued, and less focused. Now, reverse that perspective. When your physical surroundings are orderly and organized, your brain is granted permission to relax. That is why daily cleaners aren't just tidier. They often think more clearly, they feel calmer, and they are more productive. Their environment is an asset, not an obstacle. I want you to understand the deeper layers of this behavior. When we observe people who maintain their homes daily, we aren't seeing people who necessarily adore the act of cleaning itself. Let's be real. Very few people find genuine ecstasy in vacuuming daily or scrubbing the tub after every shower. We are looking at people who have identified, consciously or instinctively, that maintaining their immediate environment is one of the most powerful and reliable ways to maintain a sense of control over their entire life. Consider this. Most of life is completely unpredictable and beyond your influence. You cannot control the economic forecast, the erratic behavior of others, traffic patterns on the highway, or the outcome of a sports match on television. For many, this unpredictability creates a low-level, ambient background anxiety, a constant hum of stress that is never truly silenced. But your home, that is your domain. You can control whether the bathroom counter is wiped down. You can decide to make your bed. You determine if the sink is empty before you sleep. Every time you act upon your environment and restore it to a state of calm, you send a direct signal to your nervous system. I am in charge. I can handle things. Everything is stable. This relates directly to what psychologists call your locus of control. Individuals with a strong internal locus of control who believe that their specific actions genuinely influence their life outcomes experience far less anxiety and higher levels of motivation. One of the simplest, most immediately accessible ways to reinforce this daily is to take definitive ownership of your physical space. Make the bed, put the dishes away, wipe the table, and you will feel that immediate shift toward peace. Now, let's explore what I consider the real key to this daily habit, the concept I emphasize constantly. Identity. People who keep their homes impeccable every day are not doing it solely out of a love for cleaning. They do it because, over time, through repeated actions and visible results, they internalized a specific identity. They became the type of person who takes care of their space. Behavioral psychology teaches that we almost always act in alignment with who we believe we are. If you hold the self-concept, "I'm a messy person, I'm just naturally disorganized," what do you think will happen? You will allow clutter to accumulate, and when you see it, you'll simply tell yourself, "Well, that's just how I've always been." But here is the empowering news. Identity is not fixed. Identity is constructed through evidence. The evidence comes entirely from your actions. Every single time you wipe down the dinner table, you are providing physical evidence that reinforces the identity of someone who takes pride in their home. When you make your bed first thing in the morning, you are reinforcing the self-belief that you are a reliable person who follows through on small commitments. Do this consistently, and your brain has no choice but to update its fundamental concept of you. Once the behavior is fused with your identity, it stops requiring massive willpower. It becomes automatic. The profound power of this habit is especially potent when it's embedded in your morning ritual. Neurologically, right after waking up, your brain is in a receptive, plastic state. While your morning cortisol spike provides energy, it also creates a window of opportunity for rewiring neurological pathways. So, what happens when the very first action of your day is an act of restoration, like making your bed? First, you are utilizing that neurological opportunity to wire in a new automaticity. Second, you generate what psychologists call a completion loop. Your brain receives a tangible dopamine hit when you complete a task and immediately see the results: the made bed, the clean counter, the organized workspace. Third, and perhaps most critically, you generate psychological momentum. As Admiral William McRaven famously stated, making your bed in the morning means you have already completed the very first task of the day, giving you a small sense of accomplishment and the psychological push to complete another task and another. By day's end, that single initial act has amplified into countless achievements. I need to be honest with those of you who might be listening and thinking, "That's fine for some people, but I am just intrinsically messy. That's just who I am." Let me suggest something challenging. Your clutter is not neutral. It is almost always trying to tell you something. Disorganization is very often either a symptom or a cause of a deeper internal state. When our lives feel chaotic and out of control, our environments frequently mirror that confusion. Research has firmly established that individuals who describe their homes as cluttered or full of unfinished projects have significantly higher baseline levels of the stress hormone, cortisol, throughout the day, compared to people who describe their living spaces as restful and restorative. The condition of your home is literally affecting your biological stress level every single hour you are in it. So if you are wondering why you cannot relax when you get home from a long day, look around you. Your environment may be the quiet drain on your mental reserve. Another crucial point: people who maintain daily tidiness are not relying on superhuman discipline. That is the wrong lens entirely. When you watch someone who maintains a pristine home, you aren't witnessing the constant exertion of willpower. You are watching systems. You are watching automation in action. They are behaving out of a habit that has become as effortless and natural as brushing their teeth. They don't have to debate whether to do it. They simply do it. And this is what you want to build: systems and automation, not just more willpower. A 2009 study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology found that it takes, on average, 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic, to shift from a choice requiring conscious effort to something the brain performs almost passively. The objective is not to struggle to clean every single day for the next 50 years. The goal is to consistently perform the action long enough that it stops requiring effort at all. Beyond the mental clarity, there is a profound physical component to this. Walking into an orderly, calm room communicates immediate safety to your nervous system. It sends the signal, things are handled, everything is okay, you can rest now. For people who are highly sensitive, this effect is magnified. If you have ever felt your anxiety drop the moment you stepped into a minimalist, tranquil space, that is your nervous system directly responding to environmental input. In this way, maintaining a clean home is not simply an aesthetic preference. It is fundamentally a robust mental health practice. Finally, consider the concept of behavioral activation. Cleaning is not just a physical task. It is one of the most potent ways to intentionally shift your emotional state. When you are anxious, the act of restoring order, with its rhythm, physicality, and immediate results, gives your brain a tangible way to discharge that internal stress. The dishes get done, and something inside you settles. By maintaining tidiness as the day winds down, you are physically building a barrier between the tasks of the day and the rest needed at night, signaling to your brain that it is time to transition from doing to being. So, how do you begin? Forget about a massive weekend overhaul. First, shrink the start. Do not wait for the mess to grow into an intimidating, demoralizing problem. Clean the counter right after you cook. Wash the plate immediately after you eat. Address it while it is small. Second, engage in habit stacking. Attach the new, smaller habit to an existing anchor in your daily routine. While the coffee brews in the morning, wipe the counters. Right after you brush your teeth at night, spend 2 minutes tidying the bathroom surfaces. Third, ensure you make the process itself rewarding. Do not treat cleaning like punishment. That will only trigger resistance. Put on the music you love, an interesting podcast, or make your favorite beverage. Transform it into a positive, self-affirming ritual rather than a dreaded chore. Let's close with this definitive truth. Your home is not merely a box you sleep in. It is a profound physical manifestation of your self-regard and standards. It reflects what you subconsciously believe you deserve. I challenge you. For the next 7 days, choose one single space in your home and decide to maintain it in a state of order every single day. Perhaps it's your desk, or the kitchen, or making the bed first thing. Do that for 7 days. And then tell me it has not changed something fundamental in you. Tell me it hasn't altered your energy when you wake up. Tell me it hasn't given you just a little bit more focus. Because this is not really about the desk, or the sink, or the bed. It is about proving to yourself, daily, that you are the kind of person who shows up, acts with intention, and is worthy of peace.